You'd be hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't know anything about the Half-Life series. From the original to mods to sequels, it's permeated our popular culture in almost every single way. The most memorable of which is Half-Life 3. Whether you've just seen those memes from 2012 one time, or you've been watching the Half-Life 3 daily update for every single day, you're bound to come across it at some point. Unless you're one of those losers who goes outside. Ew. But that begs the question, if the series is so universally beloved, then why wouldn't I want a sequel? Well, 1, we already know how it's going to end. 2, there is immense pressure from the fans. And 3, even if those 2 weren't a factor, it still wouldn't capture the essence of the original Half-Life games. But I can't just sit here all day and make claims. I mean, I can, but that wouldn't make me very good at proving my point. But for the first point, we already have real, tangible evidence. The script released that would have been the plot of Half-Life 3. And frankly, I didn't think it was a very satisfying ending. Now, I know this is a flimsy argument, and they could easily replace it with a different script, which is why I'm moving on to point number 2. Ever since the release of Half-Life 2, fans have been constantly asking where Half-Life 3 is. In fact, every time Valve tries to do anything else, they're always bombarded with the same question.
Episode 3, what do we know about it? What can you tell us?
Can you tell us anything about when we'll see Episode 3?
Now ask you the world's shortest question ever, Half-Life 2 Episode 3.
We as a fan base continue to put a large amount of pressure on them, and if it continues, they might drop the ball in making the game in an attempt to pander to us. But everything I've talked about so far is small potatoes in comparison to my third point. Half-Life 1 was a unique experience, and I don't think anyone knows why. The sound design, the models, the skyboxes, it was all perfect. It all hit such a niche in our minds. Now don't get me wrong, Half-Life 2 was a good game. It just didn't really feel like the sequel. The plot, the setting, the gameplay, they were all different. It was a far cry from what I was expecting. And the story didn't feel like a continuation of the first narrative as much as it felt like a complete rewrite. And if you ask me which narrative I'd rather continue the first one. But hey, who knows? Maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe they'll pull it off like they did Alex. I don't know the future, but I do know that if they do make a Half-Life 3, I will certainly be playing it. See you next time.